Hey there, it's BoardGameDave. So I recently got back from the first ever World Series of Board Gaming in Vegas. It was amazing. I had an absolute blast. I loved every minute of my 4 days there. And today I thought it would be a great time to kind of recap my whole trip and talk about the games that I played and the people that I met and my entire experience, all of it. So let's get right to it. Oh, just so you know, there is a giveaway going on right now on this channel. You can find out all the details in the video that I made last week. I was going over the BGG Top 100 and there is a giveaway. You don't want to miss it, so check that video if you don't know about the giveaway. Anyway, so Tuesday night I fly out of Philly. I get into Vegas at like 2 in the morning, super late, crash at the hotel. My friend Dale's already there. He's the one who was kind enough to let me use his guest pass for the whole trip. We get up Wednesday morning, we hit the gym, we go down to the convention hall, and there's like nobody around, right? So we're like, hey, is it okay if we like get our passes and check in and start hanging out? And they were like, sure, I guess. So we wander in, nobody around, so we kind of walk over to the game library, and guess who's there? Tom Vasel and Stephen Bonacore, the podfather of gaming, are both just kind of hanging out. So we say hi, and I'm like, Tom Vasel, I'm a huge fan, it's so good to meet you. I was like, I'm BoardGameDave, and he looks me up on his phone, and he's like, oh yeah, BoardGameDave, I've seen one of your videos. Mind blown. Could not believe that Tom Vasel like knew that I existed. It's so crazy, right? And he was so friendly and so nice and so down to earth, like the nicest person possible. So hung out with Tom Vasel for a bit, and then Stephen Bonacore went live, so we kind of like got to meet him and stuff. And then we sat down with some guys to play Splendor, and it was literally the first game of the World Series of Board Gaming. It was awesome. We were like the only ones playing, nobody else around. So great. After that, more people started filing in, and I got to play a 4-player game of Great Western Trail. And then David Waybright from Man vs. Meeple invited me over to play a game of Revive, which is a gorgeous game that just came out at Essence Spiel. It was amazing. Like the tech tree, the asymmetry, exploring around the board, doing these amazing combos, this engine building, unlocking mechanisms all over the place. Really, really great game. I was super impressed with it. And then by the time the game ended, it was pretty late. Dale and I were both pretty tired and jet lagged, so we called it quits. And that was Wednesday. Thursday morning, Dale taught me Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small, to kill some time before the convention hall opened, and I really enjoyed it. We get down to the hall at 11 a.m. just in time for the Scythe Outer Ring tournament. So I did not participate in any of the main tournaments, but there were all these Outer Ring tournaments, kind of more low key, but the prize, if you win, is a $250 credit toward next year's World Series of Board Gaming. So I sit down at the table at 11 o'clock. There's only 7 of us kind of ready to play, so we just figured we'll do this big, epic, all factions 7-player game of Scythe. I don't think I've ever done that before. So it was amazing. I love Scythe. It's a game I've played a lot, and I love Scythe. I had a blast with it, and I won, surprisingly. So now I've got a discount for next year's World Series of Board Gaming. Right after that, I met Taylor from Taylor's Trick-Taking Table, and we got along splendidly. I mean, that would be an understatement. We talked for literally hours, and Taylor is an incredible, really smart, very creative, really funny guy. You should definitely check out his channel if you're into trick-taking games at all. This is also when I met Paula Deming, a board gaming celebrity, television superstar, and creator of Things Get Dicey. Such a genuine, friendly, wonderful, down-to-earth person. Paula was so much fun to meet. After that, I got my butt kicked in Raw, although it was only my second time playing it, and then we played a 4-player game of Concordia, and it was so much fun, although it did go pretty long, and we went to bed around 1 in the morning Thursday night. Friday morning, my new friend Doug taught me Karuba, which is a really simple Haba game that I actually really enjoyed. And then we played Ready, Set, Bet. So this is an upcoming game from AEG. It's a horse racing betting game, and it was a 6-player game with Tom Vasel. So he didn't play. He wanted to roll the dice and kind of shout out the horses as they trotted along the track. So he's rolling the dice. 5 gets a bonus, moves 1 more, 7 goes, 2, nobody cares about 2, 11 goes. I mean, you know, it's Tom Vasel. He's like really getting into it. And then John, who's like the chairman of World Series of Board Gaming, he's like getting crazy into it because he's playing and he's yelling and screaming and grabbing people and shaking them. And it was like this absolute chaotic. I mean, it was like the loudest game of the entire week. We were yelling and the whole hall was just, it was just chaos. Anyway, that was Ready, Set, Bet. Really fun game. I was super into it. It was a blast. After Ready, Set, Bet, I played in my second Outer Ring tournament game, Concordia, and it was so much fun playing with people who knew the game really well. It was a really tight game all the way to the end, and I actually placed second by just a few points, but I had such a great time playing Concordia. After that, I played a game called Mind Your Business. Mind Your Business is a game coming out next year from Envy Born Games. It's a puzzly abstract game where you'll be rotating and swapping tiles to funnel gold and gems into your cart. So really good game. I was having a really hard time with it because I'm not good at these spatial puzzle games, but I was actually playing with Rob Glasgow, designer of games like Betrayal at House on the Hill and Fantasy Realms. Who would have thought? He just sat down and played this game with us. After Mind Your Business, Dale and I walked down to Lolo's Chicken and Waffles, and if you are near Lolo's Chicken and Waffles, you need to go and get yourself some chicken right now. It was so good. Dale and I got the Double D's Chicken and Waffles special, hot sauce on the chicken, syrup and butter on the waffles, and it was glorious. So good. Just amazing. So quick tangent, but Lolo's Chicken and Waffles, amazing. After lunch, me and Dale and a few other guys played Azul Stained Glass of Sintra, and then we met Juan from QVO Games, and he sat down and taught us Red 7, and then the three of us played Coimbra, which I'd been meaning to play for quite some time, so I'm so glad I finally got a chance to. It was really great. And then Juan, who's a Vegas local, kind of took us out to this all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue place that was amazing, super authentic Asian food, Korean, Japanese barbecue. It was so good. Friday was an amazing day for eating. On Saturday, the first game I played was Scout with David and Alicia from Man vs. Meeple, but also with Rob and Christina from Blue Peg, Pink Peg, who were so funny, so hilarious. The whole time we were playing this game, we were just laughing nonstop, and it was just a blast. And the game was so good. Scout is this tiny little trick-taking game from Oink Games. I loved it, and I will buy it as soon as I can find a copy, but I loved hanging out with everybody and meeting Rob and Christina. So much fun. And then it was time for another Outer Ring tournament for Stone Age. I feel like I'm pretty good at Stone Age, but this one guy just totally spammed the starvation strategy, like never fed his people, and then by the end of the game was just drowning in resources. So he was buying up all these buildings and getting all the villager multiplier cards. It was insane. Like the three of us, just there was nothing we could do, and he just took off and got all these points. But getting out in the first round of Stone Age meant I could participate in the Cascadia Outer Ring tournament, which was actually really fun. I feel like I was playing pretty good, really tight game. We got to the end and I didn't win, but I had a great time with it. And like I said, I feel like I did a pretty good job considering I think that was only my third time ever playing Cascadia. So earlier that day, I had met and talked with Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. And he asked me what my favorite game was, and I said, without hesitation, A Feast for Odin, of course, my #1 game. And he was like, hey, you know, if we can make it happen, we should definitely play A Feast for Odin together sometime. I'm trying to relearn the game because it's been a long time since I played it last. And I was like, sure, you know, it's convention, so it's hard to make definite plans. But after Cascadia, we called each other and he was like, you know, if you want to play Feast for Odin, we can make it happen. And I'm like, I gotta catch a plane in like, I don't know, 3 hours or something. And he's like, hey, if you want to do it, you know, we can play fast, let's make it happen. So he gets Professor Meg, we get to a table, and I bust out Feast for Odin from the game library, and I do a crazy fast teach, and we dive right in and play A Feast for Odin. And the whole time we're playing, I'm like freaking out. It's like super surreal because it's Alex from Board Game Co. and Meg from Professor Meg, and I'm playing my favorite board game with some of my favorite people from the board game community. It was like so awesome. One of the absolute highlights, maybe my highlight from the entire convention. It was so cool, and they were great players. Like they were just so nice. They understood the game, of course, like immediately, and we just had a blast playing A Feast for Odin. And Professor Mac had like great die rolls, and Alex just had this like great weapon strategy, was just taking off, and he like totally demolished us. But I loved playing Feast for Odin with Alex and Meg, and I told them I would never forget it. It was like a highlight of my life. So we finished A Feast for Odin. We took a few selfies. I gushed about how amazing it was to play board games with these two, you know, amazing people. And then I ran back to the hotel room, packed up all my stuff, rushed to the airport to get to my flight on time, and I did make it back to Philly on time at like 5 in the morning. And that was my Vegas trip. Some of the other highlights from my trip were meeting Ben from Gaming with Ben, Billy Indiana, Danny Stranding, and just hanging out with my friend Dale, who's like the nicest, kindest person you could ever meet. He's amazing. And also hanging out and spending time with hundreds of board game enthusiasts, like people who are crazy about board games like me. I love that. I love being in an environment that's just like buzzing with board game energy, and it really made me excited for PAX Unplugged, which is coming up in December. So I am beyond stoked about PAX Unplugged. I went last year. I am so excited to go this year. If you see me, please come up and talk to me. I love meeting board game people and talking with board game people. So if you happen to see me at PAX, please do come say hi. Anyways, that was my very chaotic but hopefully somewhat organized review of my time at the World Series of Board Gaming in Vegas. I had a wonderful time. I loved the people and the games and the ambiance and the environment, and all of it was so much fun. And I highly recommend, by the way, that you go check out a convention near you when you get a chance, either PAX or Gen Con or WSBG. If you get a chance, I highly recommend going to a convention if you haven't already. It is a blast. It just feels like where you want to be. So go to a convention if you get a chance. I'll see you at PAX if you're going. And in the meantime, have a wonderful week. Take care and happy gaming. Bye. There you go. Bloop. Some of the other. Ooh, buddy.